Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back with another live stream of Hearthstone. Today is Friday, March 16th and we are starting late again. Ever since they changed the uh, daylight savings time, things have just gotten worse and worse for me as far as my insomnia and sleep schedule. Let's see, 100 class cards and 5 tavern brawls. And I have 2 tavern brawls, one for the Asian account that we're on right now, and one uh, for the European account. I decided to spend yesterday, instead of recording full throttle, which is what I should have done, playing Hearthstone in the dungeon run mode, trying to see if maybe I could get all of those done. The truth is I probably could, but man, it took an entire day and I only got 2. So I have 4 heroes on my American account that still need to win on the dungeon run mode, and it's really luck based too much. And so I'm hoping maybe they don't require 9 victories, 1 with each character class, for the monster hunt mode, which is the, let's see, what would help ensure I get a victory here. Like, I was really spending all of yesterday trying to wrap my head around how the slight differences of playing dungeon run mode works for each class, and how each class was designed perhaps to win. And in all honesty, I didn't see a significant, I don't see a significant answer for half the heroes. Like the mage class, I tried for a very long time. Didn't seem like there was really any obvious solution there. You would think the mage class would be something as simple as playing a bunch of spells and getting a bunch of spells, but the randomness in the loot, the randomness in the let's see if I do this, or I could do this, or I could do this. I think I want to do this. Play a little control. Lots of news, lots of games to cover. No real way to sort it. Apparently Drake and Ninja smashed Twitch's viewing record according to PC Game playing Fortnite. I believe Drake is a rapper and Ninja is a Twitch streamer. Maybe they're both rappers. By streamer Tyler Ninja Blevins, who at the moment is showing 541,241 views on his stream. That's and he was playing with Drake. And who is Drake? And then they updated the article and said it's over 600,000 concurrent viewers. I assume Drake is a rapper. It's like I'm not in with the kids, so darn it, man, I am not happy with Steam logging me out every freaking time. taunt. Deal 5 damage and Wind Fury. And then taunt, I suppose, does work here. I wish the Steam Guard app would just allow you to approve logins instead of not having to actually type in things, because the type in things are kind of pointlessly annoying. Let's see, here. And that's just like more setup I need to do. Man, I really have just made everything worse for myself. Like, totally have. Ever since I started covering all games. Because if I'm not logged in, then I can't wishlist or see if I've already wishlisted things. So I'm looking at a game that came out called Echoplex. I was following it, and it's now mostly positive, 78% of 23 users, and it does look like something that is different enough for me to wishlist. So I'll switch it from my following list to my wish list. It's selling at full price for $15, $14.99. Wanna also be as accurate as possible. So I've got 6 health. Looks like I'm gonna win this one. Yeah, and looking over games, for the most part, I think, unless it strikes me as something I'm actually going to recommend or wish list to people, I don't think I'm going to do it. Like, there's this game, Pipe by BMX Street, that's mixed reviews, 63% of 19 user reviews in the past 30 days, came out the 15th. It, on the face of it, looks like it might be an interesting game. Unfortunately, I imagine there isn't much to it for its $10, and that's why it has mixed reviews. That's one victory. And a handful of 100 class cards. We don't really need to get the 100 class cards during the tavern brawls. Apparently, Overwatch is already dialing back some of Sombra's recent buffs. Hack was just a little bit too strong, according to PC Gamer. As a non-Overwatch player, I won't go any further in that story. Just point people to the rest of the story. That's what I need to start doing when I'm just referencing other people's stories, since I'm now transitioning my channel to mostly direct reporting of new games until I get some feedback. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, feedback, and I was thinking about this yesterday, feedback on my channel is still not high enough, and that simply is due to an incredibly low amount of views and an incredibly low amount of subscribers. For all I know, half of all my videos, the audio is too low and nobody is even telling me or even knows, because nobody's watching it, or the audio is too loud, or I'm boring and repetitive, or I haven't improved at all in the 4 years of running my channel, or I've gotten worse in the 4 years of running my channel. Like, anything could potentially be true, and that's not the position I'd like to be in. I've been watching, while I was playing yesterday, I was watching a Minecraft mod called Sink Into Madness. Not the greatest mod ever. Basically, it's like Sky Factory, except for slightly different. I mean, isn't that most Minecraft mods though? Skyblock or Sky Factory. All the mods are a little too, pretty much the same anyways. Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. It's way over here. Do I want a 5-2 or 2-5? I'm gonna take a 2-5. And just continue to attack the face, I guess. And so I'm watching Sink Into Madness Minecraft, and it's being done by this guy named iJevin, who has over 300,000 subs. He was the first one to come up when I searched like Minecraft modded or whatever I searched, Minecraft modded Sink Into Madness. And I certainly have watched him cover other series. But so I'm watching him cover this new mod that he recorded about 6 months ago. So it's not completely brand new. But I'd watched him a couple of years ago. And he literally has not improved or changed anything. And his videos, I don't know, maybe his style works for his fans in some weird way that just doesn't make sense to me. But like, he starts with a 2-minute intro with the question of the day, and then if we get to it, he's begging for likes, and if you get to 50 likes, we'll open a chance cube. And then you spend several minutes at the front opening chance cubes, which are these random rewards or penalties in modded Minecraft. And questions of the day. The questions of the day are like the exact same boring, ridiculous things. I have a real hard time believing that he's sincere in any of his questions of the day or anything like that. It seems much more likely he's just going through a list that he's written to try to get people to talk in the comments. Like, and maybe that works. But the way he talks to his audience, it's like his audience is really there. So it seems like he's having a slightly awkward, one-sided conversation. Let's see. When another thing takes damage, destroy it. Or just do this. I think this would probably be fine. He constantly has references that he has to look at his clock, or he will or he'll go on stream recording for more than 30 minutes, and he says that. Then he constantly references the fact that he says that every single episode. I'm like, geez. And I see a lot of myself in iJevin. If anybody wants to go look at any of his videos and see it, like, there are times when it feels like I'm ranting. There are times when it feels like every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I'm just saying, wow, I'm mad at Hearthstone again for being really difficult. Although right now I'm not mad at all. We've gotten 2 victories very quickly. And yeah, right now I'm kind of ranting against like Jevin. It just doesn't seem like he's improved anything. It seems like he's been in an echo chamber, just churning out the same kind of content for at least a year and not added anything new, changed anything, done anything different. The only slight difference is he's playing a little bit different games. Maybe that's pretty similar to what my pre-recorded footage is, though. Like, while Hearthstone has been this very iterative journey of what am I going to talk about when, like, we changed it from just playing Hearthstone and generally ranting to playing Hearthstone and covering video game news to now it's playing Hearthstone and covering video game news and new releases of games. So that's changed a lot, but for the other pre-recorded footage, it intentionally hasn't changed that much. I am still just playing the game, trying to be as critical as possible, which some people may not like, of that specific game, which causes me to say a lot of the same things for the same games, because a lot of the times it is the exact same issue where video games feel unfinished, feel like they don't have enough budget, feel like they were rushed out, feel like they're buggy. So in that way, I do repeat myself, but I don't really find that that's anything that I could ever change or would want to change in that instance, because if I am actually saying that the game is buggy, and I actually do feel the game is buggy, like, I do need to point it out. But there's certainly things I would like to improve. I'd like to be a little bit more varied in my conversations, a little bit better in my speech patterns, probably in a more likable voice in general, if you could find that. But then again, I also don't want to turn into PewDiePie and just put on a fake, like, streamer voice. I want to be realistic, and I guess that's the great thing of when somebody did give me some feedback, to get back to the previous conversation, and they said they liked my videos because I'm calm, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I am. I'm not this. I'm being true to myself and not being an annoying streamer type who is putting on a fake voice and trying to be energetic when I'm not really that person. And I guess if you think about, at least in my experience, when I was in school hanging out with friends, I never really hung out with any major ditzy people. Like, I didn't know anybody or particularly want to hang out with anybody that was very consistently like, always energetic, always hyper. And so I guess I'm being true to myself, and I should stay at least somewhat close to that. Anyways, moving on to the next story, because we have tons of news. The Witcher's Geralt of Rivia has been confirmed for Soul Calibur 6. Not a bad choice at all. A little surprising that CD Projekt Red would be willing to do that, but they have certainly been willing to put the mods in their own Witcher 3 game and add-ons, so it's not incredibly surprising that they would be willing to license it out. And Geralt of Rivia is a great example of a dual sword fighting character. Although, like, I don't know if he's going to have any kind of sword switching ability where he goes from the silver to the steel sword, or if it's just always going to be the steel sword. And I believe they're adding a new Kaer Morhen, which is like a castle location based on The Witcher for them to fight on. And I'm looking at the trailer right now, and he is able to do at least some of his fire attacks. And yeah, so Caliber, since it's really just a game built around a bunch of swords people. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get this one down. Oh. This is not a story, but this is certainly disconcerting. And I'd already gotten the feeling that I didn't feel like Double Fine had the right people to make games anymore. And it seems like they've kind of confirmed that, because now they're looking for a senior producer of Psychonauts 2, which is to say it probably is either restarting or hasn't even entered production. It was only in pre-production. I'm really not going to list out all the job listings, requirements and stuff, but this is not great. Like, if you would think the senior producer would already exist in Double Fine, if it wouldn't have been the CEO of Double Fine himself. And I'm afraid we're going to have something along the lines of either a situation like Shadow of the Colossus, where it's just never actually finished, or it takes forever to be finished, or we're gonna just have a terrible game called Psychonauts 2, like what would be like that Bomberman game that was kickstarted. What was that one called? That was awful. And it's very, very high potential that it will be like that Bomberman game. That it's not really a Bomberman game, but it's made from the creators of it. Because the Psychonauts 2 was kickstarted, funded on Fig, which Double Fine owns Fig, or at least in part. So yeah, that's definitely not confidence inspiring. Like, you would have thought they were halfway done, if not close to being done, with Psychonauts 2 by now. So I guess the only thing I can really report on that, though, is don't get your hopes up. Let's see, I don't know what I want to do here, so I'm gonna hold on to that. The Crew 2 is gonna hit the road in June. Do we have a specific date? June 29th, according to Ubisoft. And a new version is coming out that costs more. So Ubisoft's really big into charging more for the bundles and the packs. Here's one of those 8-bit pixel games that that I normally wouldn't bother to mention, but it is rated positive. 95% of 43 users in the past 30 days. It came out March 15th, so I guess that doesn't really mean anything. It's called Synthetic, S-Y-N-T-H-E-T-I-K, which I don't believe that's the correct spelling. It looks like an 8-bit pixel top-down shooter. It says it's a roguelike game. It looks pretty fast-paced, single-player and online co-op. It looks good for what it is, but a top-down 8-bit pixel games are so common. So I don't know what to do with a game like this. It's like it doesn't personally catch my attention, but it also doesn't look bad in any way. I really don't have in my head a good list or a good way. Let's do this. Should have drawn the card twice. Let's attack here and kill this one. So I guess I'm gonna just wishlist this, but really when I get back to looking at my wish list, a game like this will probably be skipped. Let's see. A game called Nairi, N-A-I-R-I, Tower of Shirin, S-H-I-R-I-N, is coming to Switch. Has adorable visuals, compelling characters, and engaging puzzles, according to Gematsu. Let's see what kind of game it is. Explore dungeons, solve puzzles, experience an engaging story, listen to a beautiful soundtrack. Do we have anything else? Nintendo is going to have an indie, like Nintendo Direct type game, type show pretty soon. When I see the actual announcement, I'll be able to tell the date. But I wouldn't be surprised if a game like this is included in that. One of the things that you can do there's no date for this game, for the dungeon run mode in Hearthstone, is there's a card or two that will steal cards, and if you just play through what potentially could be hundreds of games, you'll eventually run into one boss that creates super poisonous spores. If you can copy those super poisonous spores to your deck, they're 1/1 characters that will kill a hero if they do any damage to the hero. So if you could copy that and take that with you for the rest of the run, you have a good chance for an easy victory. Particularly if you consistently continue to copy your own cards with something like Magic Mirror, which is how I won with one character, because I ended up with the Lich King. I copied the Lich King again, I copied the Lich King again, I copied the Lich King again. So I had like 4 or 5 Lich Kings in my deck. Lich King is a great card on a dungeon run because there's a decent chance you'll get a bonus that makes all cards above 5 mana, and there is a decent chance you might run into a boss at the end who is going to try to destroy your deck and make you run out of cards. So in that instance, if you've run out of cards for any reason on the final boss, Lich King will give you good, useful cards. Uh, probably could have just used this instead. Yeah. Let's see, there's a game called Fell Seal Arbiter's Mark, and it apparently is a kickstarted game that is trying to copy Final Fantasy Tactics, since there's no Final Fantasy Tactics on PC. This is clearly one of those PC Gamer advertisement articles advertising a kickstarted game. But that being said, I guess if you loved Final Fantasy Tactics, clones of games that aren't on PC are probably a decent thought. According to this, the Kickstarter raised $45,289, which is not a significant amount to make a game from scratch, but it's possible that it wasn't starting from scratch. Just killed this one. Final Fantasy Tactics is a, if you don't know, kind of a character placement, tile-based movement game with a lot of characters, and I think you might have some trouble or a lack of desire to control that many characters. Like hundreds of characters on screen, maybe 100. Probably not, probably closer to 40 or 50. Like, I'm seeing a screen of just tons of people, and Tactics is what it sounds like, tactical. So I imagine the game isn't going to appeal to a lot of people who play Final Fantasy games, because the Final Fantasy games have changed now to be heavily focused around being real-time, fast action moves. Well, since this game isn't out yet, and it just says available 2018, it does have a Steam page. I will just follow that. That's one of these articles I need to get away from, and maybe eventually I can realize that I just have like no need to look at PC Gamer articles anymore, and that would be nice. I mean, that would be a real nice twist. Then I can focus on games that, as they come out day one, start looking at them, and instead of focusing on instead of getting on hype trains for games that aren't going to come out for 3 or 4 years, if ever. Anyways, moving on to the next PC Gamer article. They have an article called "This is what PUBG plays like on the phone." Tencent's mobile port of PUBG is itty bitty and only slightly poopy. I'm censoring myself. Probably more than even YouTube really cares. Let's see. Death throw will deal damage equal. Gain a mana crystal for each friendly minion. And then attack here. And attack here. And do that. This video does not want to play. Well, to put it simply, playing any of these games, and I know PC Gamer has done several articles where they've played Fortnite on the phone, PUBG on the phone, and Kingdom Come Deliverance on the phone. Like, none of those are desirable like desirable solutions at all. Like, I don't think, even if you were stuck in school and wanted to play a game, I don't think you're gonna really want to do that. So moving on to a Rock Paper Shotgun article. Vermintide 2 mod tools expected in late April. I don't know what kind of modding you'd really do to a game like Vermintide. I guess I just have a lack of imagination there. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really say there. Vermintide, yeah, at some point I think I need to play Vermintide 1. I need to look at it, spotlight it, say, look, Vermintide 2 is out. I'm not going to play this game because it's mostly, if not completely, a co-op game, and that's just not going to work for me. Moving on to the next article, there's a game called Neocap that is a lovely looking emotional survivor game about gig labor, uber stylish. So it's sounds like it's probably more of a comment on being an Uber driver and the many problems of that, working for Uber and them basically trying to underpay people and not give them worker rights. There's a long list, a long rant there of scummy things that Uber's done. See, does this one deal damage equal to all enemy minions? Yeah, instead of all minions. This game, unfortunately, Neocab is not even on anything, so it's another PC gamer early useless thing. GTA Online has an occupancy. I don't think they spelled the word right. OCCUPY, Occupy, and Bunker series. Is that how you spell Occupy? That is offering double GTA dollars and experience this weekend. Nothing really to say there. It seems like that happens relatively often. Let's see. Play this. And then we hope this kills this one. But it doesn't. Darn it. I was hoping... Well, I guess it doesn't matter. We'll skip this article because it doesn't really have anything to do with anything. Let's see, we talked about that one. There's a job listing for Ubiquity 6 for a software engineer. What does Ubiquity 6 make as far as their website? I think I've been to this website before. Let's see. Yeah, they don't have any games at Ubiquity 6 at all. It's a new company. There's like nothing on their website. It's this hexagon. It's a company overview. Ubiquity 6 is working on some of the hardest challenges in computer vision and augmented reality to bring internet to the physical world. Yeah, so it's really just a startup. Let's see, maybe if I could steal this.
Engaging TC-130 mental dislocator.
I mean, that's slightly helpful. That's the first loss we've had today, I believe. Not too bad. Like, that is the one instance I've probably had with Hearthstone in several years in which I'm okay with losing. Because I won 3 or 4 in a row. I felt like I was up. I felt like I'd done a good job. But I lost just because of a bad draw. That seems okay and cool. What's not okay and cool is when we spend 5 hours streaming and there's literally nothing, no victories at all. And I've been hearing a lot of talk. Total Biscuit in the Co-optional podcast Total Biscuit and friends were talking about Hearthstone is dying and how people could go to Artifact or Fable Fortunes, probably not Fable Fortunes. And I certainly could see it. I don't think I can go to Artifact though. It seems like it's too complicated a game for my needs. It seems like it's too much like Dota. And by the time, if Artifact did become as popular as Dota, by the time that happened, I imagine you'd be 3 or 4 years into its release. And the money entry barrier, the fact that you have to buy the game to enter, is just not great. Not great, particularly right now while there's a Lego double VIP points sale going on. So I'm about to buy a bunch more Lego instead of video games. Let's see, what do we want? Just a +1/+1, I guess? No. Let's see, I'm looking at this game called Trials of the Gauntlet. It's... How much are they asking? They're asking for $2.50. Its art style actually doesn't look too bad. It's a new publisher and a couple different names labeled as developers. Seems like they may have... Oh yeah, they listed every single person who worked on the game. There's like 10 people listed here as the developer. That's an interesting way to do things. No, like, player unknown type character labeled as the one person. And you know what? I'm gonna wishlist this game, but I might take it off. Like, this game is $2, or $2.50 if you want the soundtrack, which I would certainly not buy a bundle with a soundtrack before I've even heard the game. And the graphics don't look great, but it does look like something that if you played a game that looked like this in 1995, it would be alright. I guess maybe I'm being too kind to the game though. Maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, this is almost certainly going to be a game that I eventually de-wishlist, but I'm going to wishlist it right now because this might turn out to be a hidden gem with just some bad graphics because it's the first release of a new group of people. It looks like actual effort was put into it. Moving on, PC Gamer has a article, Far: Lone Sails, a land yacht journey across a barren desert is coming this May. Let's watch the trailer. Let's see what this is about. Land yacht. Okay, so it's a broken down car that's been modified to move mostly on wind power, but seems like it can also move on some other kind of energy. And seems like you spend most of your gameplay inside this machine trying to run steam engines. It's got an interesting looking aesthetic, certainly. Deal 2 damage to a minion and a minion next to it. Can I do anything at all? If I did that, I think you do this. I think you do this. And I think you attack here. And well, Far and Lone Sails is coming out May 17th. I will, I suppose, follow things now. I guess that's what follow means. Although, you know, I don't think that is how I'm going to use the follow list. I'm still trying to figure it out. So I'm just going to wish list it, because we can now filter wish lists in a way so we don't see early access games. Let's see. Play this. After a hero attacks, recruit a minion. I like that idea. Yeah, I've just lost, but I should play cards. Game of Citra has an article, one dev's quest to support every controller you can plug into a USB port. If you can plug it into a USB port, supporting a controller is not that hard. Like, the ones that get really crazy is when you want zero latency input on something along the lines of a NES, Super NES controller, some of those Atari things. And the Atari controller is a great example, or of a controller that is going to be really, really hard to support, because it's like one of the original, the Atari controller, I believe, is a joystick with one button. That's very bad. So that's way too few accesses and buttons to have for a game. There's the Commodore controller is just a dial and a number pad. So maybe I'm getting my memory mixed up here. So, like, how do you control those really old supporting controllers? When you get to some of they're showing like a picture of the DJ Mix controller, I believe it was, which is like a DJ mixing board turned into a controller. There's no real problem with that, because all of the buttons are still there in the equivalent to an Xbox controller. It's just the buttons are in a different place. And who knows how you would play a game that way. And there is a accessibility standard that I just heard about a week ago where you plug in accessible inputs for people who are actually handicapped and disabled through like a mini stereo jack connector. And so like when I think about that, there's room for going down that route more than there is for supporting like a DDR mat in your game. Let's see. Tragic Master comes on. Dang Murloc quest. So many Murgles. I don't even have a Murloc quest, so you must have one. I like Murlocs. They're the one thing I like about Hearthstone as far as a character class would definitely be Murlocs, because they are quick and they are easy and they give you those quick victories, but they don't win enough anymore. They used to win. My best deck for a while was a Murloc deck. Let's see, I'm gonna play this so I can use this if he plays any heroes. PC Gamers podcast are also talking about how they're struggling in Hearthstone. They've made it up that they've made an actual effort to get to rank legendary, and they're getting stuck at rank 5, 3 or 4, which I shouldn't be throwing stones at glass houses, as I can't even get up to rank like 19. But it seems like the new ranking system has actually done a good job on trying to adjust some of the higher levels to put people actually in their place instead of some randomness that was up there at the higher levels. But the trickle down effect so far hasn't happened. I imagine next month, the month after that, the month after that, we'll start to see some really bad players that were way too high fall down. But I'm looking more forward to like new cards coming in, and potentially in a backwards way causing some of the current metagames to not be playable anymore. Let's see, is this a game worth mentioning? No. Wow, I don't even have to, like, if your screenshot for your game is 90% black with just a flashlight revealing a small section of your screen in every single screenshot, then we know your game is not worth buying for $7. So I'm not even gonna mention that game. Deal 1 damage to everybody. Transfer a friendly minion into an elemental. Spend all your armor, didn't do that much damage. Sure. Oops. That's an oops. I didn't realize it was going to hit my own guys. I should read the cards better. The ex-PlayStation head, Jack Treaton, who I believe stepped down from being CEO just a couple months ago, maybe a month ago or so, has now decided to form a indie investment fund with the Studio Wildcard CEO Doug Kennedy. Interactive Gaming Ventures, a company that aims to invest money into building indie games. So I find that a little, I guess that's a parallel development. Let's see. Not ready. Want to do this first, then do this, and then do this, and then do this. There we go. And between this one and this one and this one, I have more than enough to win. This way. Yeah, so I guess not too much to say more than that. And they will invest between $1 million and $5 million, but depending on the project. And I imagine they'll want a heavy amount of return. Darn it, they got a bunch of armor. According to Intel, the new 8th generation Coffee Lake CPUs will have built-in Spectre and Meltdown hardware fixes. Also, Linus Torvalds, the maintainer of the Linux kernel, was not happy with a recent publication of a bunch of AMD exploits, because in his opinion all the exploits required you to have root level access in the first place, which if you have to have root level access for an exploit, then you're it's a little too late already. Like, once somebody gets in your house, once they have free access to your house, anything they can exploit inside your house is kind of pointless. We have a new person on the chat called Daggers Up saying hi. Hi, Daggers Up. I don't know if I'm gonna win this one. I've hit a tiny losing streak that could grow into a bigger losing streak. Let's see. Minions can't be reduced to 0. Do this. Like, I could play both of these cards, but I don't see what they would do. Well, we're slowly playing the Hunter class cards, which is getting both things done. We just need 2 more Tavern Brawl Hunter victories. I thought I only needed 1. And we just need 25 more Hunter cards. And I think we'll do that in the next recording. Stay tuned if you're watching live. Otherwise, as always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. If you want to support me, gift me something on Steam. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.